It's important that you know how to manage your risks before they arise. And I see so many people starting their projects without thinking or anticipating what could go wrong. How can I fix this? And this can cost you a lot. It can cost you your budget. Your budget might overrun, miss deadlines, or your entire project can fail if you don't manage your risks correctly. And we want to make sure that we solve this problem today. Imagine you're working remotely. That is a risk that I see, which is very common with people who are working remotely. If you are working as a project manager, you might come to a situation where you have to analyze the risks. What if one developer is not there? What do we do? What if we have network issues? You need to look for multiple routers that you can replace in case you have that issue. There might be network issue. It might be raining. Another team member might fall sick or something can just pop up. You need to anticipate all those things before you get into your project. And once you have done that, you need to come up with plan, and that is what we have to tackle today. So as we move into this episode, I want you to put this in mind, that it's very important that you anticipate your risks before something unexpected comes. Even if it comes, it should be something that is minor, not compared to the risks that you have already analyzed, prioritize them, and make sure that you assign them. So I need you to keep that in mind so that we can see how to solve your risks, how to overcome them when they strike you. Let's get into this episode. Now, let me quickly define what risk management is. Risk management is identifying, assessing, and controlling your risks for project success. It is very important that you keep this in mind, because risk is an uncertain event, which means that it could be positive or negative. So many people have this misconception when they hear risk, they just think of, oh, negative direction, negative direction. No, there's a risk that can enable your project to be successful. And once you notice that this risk is a positive one, you enable it, you enhance it to make sure that it occur. But if it is negative, that is where you put things in place to make sure that it doesn't happen. I'm going to share with you 4 types of risks that are commonly affecting projects so that you can know how to prioritize them and put them in place. The first one is internal risk. Internal risk is what happens within the team, right? Internally within the things that can just affect the people working in that project. This could be a team member not showing up for work, right? Or shortage of resources in the project that you are working on. The second type of risk is external risks. Now, external risks are things that are affecting your team, but they are from the external world. It could be something like changes in the market, prices of things that you are currently working on, or the project that you are working on. It start affecting your internal team, but it is from the external world. That is an external risk. The next risk is financial risk, which is very common, right? The prices of things can go very high. The cost of the product that you people are building can change. That is a financial risk. It becomes very expensive, and you need to see how you catch up with. The next one is technical risks. Yes, what if your laptop breaks? You're working in the software industry. What if your laptop goes off? What do I do? Do I have a second laptop? Can I log in on someone's laptop? That is the technical risks that you need to see how you can quickly fix them to work with your team. Now, looking at the software industry that you're working on, and you're working remotely also, how can you classify this? Now, we are working remotely. The internal risk. What is the internal risk? First, a team member who is working with us internally is absent. That is an internal risk. The second, which is the external risk, is what? Network issues. Network issues that is affecting every other person in your location. It could be a country, it could be wherever you are functioning, right? That is an external risk. You are not the cause of this. Your team cannot control that. It depends on the people who are supplying you the network. We have financial issues, right? A rise in the market prices when it comes to network. Those of us who are using Starlink, you know how expensive it is. If you are using MTN network, you know how fast it gets finished at one point, and you just need to know how to manage them. Which one will you go for? Will you go for MTN? Will you go for Starlink? Will you go for Orange? You need to know how to put that in place. And the technical risks, yes, you're working remotely. How are you communicating with your people? Are you using your phone? What if your phone goes down? You need to get something, you need to use your laptop. How do you communicate with people? You need to share all those things. So you see how these risks are very important for you to identify them. Which type of risk is this, and how do I fix them? It is very important, and it commonly happens so often. It's not just for people who are working remotely, it happens to everybody because it's something that you anticipate, unexpected, which means you just have to prepare for it. In case it happens, what do I do? Don't wait for it to come before you start preparing, because at that moment you'll be confused. Having said that, let me give you 5 practical tips that you can use to make sure that you manage your risks effectively. The first thing that you need to do is identify your risks. List all the possible risks that can affect your project. Write them down. The next thing that you need to do is analyze them. Analyze them to know the likelihood of it happening. Is it going to be a high impact, or is it going to just destabilize our project for a moment? We need to analyze them. The next thing that you need to do is prioritize it. Is it a high impact risk? Is it a low? Is it a medium? You need to understand this so that you can know where to start from. And you need to start prioritizing the high impact risks. Make sure that you solve them before they affect your project. The next thing that you need to do is your response plan. How are you going to respond to the risks when you see it? Will you avoid it? Will you mitigate the risks? Are you going to transfer it? Or you just accept that, oh, no matter what we do, this risk is going to happen, and whatever the outcome is, let it happen to the project. Those are the ways that you avoid your risks. You mitigate them, you transfer them, or you accept them. That's your response plan. The fifth step, which is very important, is monitor your risks, right? Review them and give feedback. If you assign the risk to someone, which is the risk owner, you make sure that you monitor to see if that person is working on that risk. That is how you solve your problem. If you prioritize the risk, it's a high impact risk, oh Lord, you need to make sure that you follow up to make sure that everything is intact. That is how you work on your risk. It is important that you do this. Why is it important? Because it enables you to have that confidence, right? In decision making. Once you know that whatever happens in this thing, I have the ability to solve it, you are confident in your project. It prevents you from surprises. Something doesn't just come to you and say, oh, you have to stop here. No. You have avoided yourself from having those surprises and all those things. It is very important that you know what your risk looks like. Guys, it's very important that you do this. You do me this favor. If anything I've shared with you today resonated, please pack a thought, a question, or even just a feeling, then hit that subscribe button. That is the best way that you can support everything that we do here. If you value the contributions that we bring to your project management career, if you value what we're doing and you want to support us anyway, then hit that subscribe button, and that is going to keep us moving. And if you hit that like button, it is going to reach to more and more people. And just give us your feedback in the comment section, and we'll know what to work more on. Thank you for being here. Cheers.